Republicans finally realize the gravity of the situation and the urgency with which we must act. But guess what, Mr. Speaker? You don't get an award around here for simply doing your damn job.
That was the lead Democrat on the House Rules Committee, Congressman Jim McGovern, speaking today before the House voted 316 to 94 to advance a $95.3 billion aid package for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. In a rare move, more Democrats voted for the Republican procedural rule than Republicans, rescuing Speaker Mike Johnson. The House is set to vote tomorrow on that critical Ukraine aid that has been stalled for months by what Liz Cheney calls the Putin wing of the Republican Party. Our next guest, Yale history professor Timothy Snyder, testified about that on Wednesday in the House Oversight Committee.
If we follow Chinese propaganda about the ongoing Ukraine war, we notice a certain pattern, which is that the political warfare themes, which, as colleagues have quite rightly said, are meant to pass through us, have in fact done so. First, Ukrainians are Nazis, a Russian theme picked up by China, echoed on the House floor. Second, it's all about NATO enlargement, a Russian theme picked up by China. Third, Ukraine is corrupt, a Russian theme picked up by China, echoed on the House floor, echoed in the Senate by Senator Vance. Fourth, that democracies can't do anything about Ukraine, that it's all pointless, a Russian theme echoed by Chinese propaganda, picked up in House discussions. Fifth, we should pay attention to the border and not do anything about Ukraine, a Russian theme picked up by China, echoed in both chambers. Sixth, the Biden bribe, a Russian theme picked up and echoed by China, discussed in this very chamber.
Committee member Marjorie Taylor Greene, a member of the so-called Putin wing of the Republican Party, said this.
It's amazing to me that just in a few years' time, it's now considered misinformation to talk about the Nazis in Ukraine.
I'd like to thank the representative from Georgia by making clear with her comments and with her person that any discussion of political warfare has to include Russia, Ukraine, and America. She's just demonstrated that point, I think, very powerfully. On the question of Nazis, I've written 2 books as a historian about Nazis and the Holocaust. On the question of Ukrainian nationalism, I am the leading scholar of that subject in North America and have been writing about it for 20 years. If the chamber is interested in the degree of far-right participation in Ukrainian politics, you can be assured that no far-right party has ever crossed 3% in Ukrainian election. So, of course, there are bad people in every country, but by any comparative standard is a very small phenomenon. In Russia, on the other hand, the army includes openly Nazi formations, such as Rushich. The government itself is fascist in character, and it is carrying out a war which includes deportation of children by the tens of thousands, the open intention of destroying a state, as well as mass torture. So if we're looking for fascism, and if there is anyone who is sincerely concerned about halting fascism or racism, you would wish to halt Russia.
Marjorie Taylor Greene has been threatening to vote to remove House Speaker Mike Johnson because of his support for aid to Ukraine. Speaker Johnson said this about Marjorie Taylor Greene's threat to remove him from the speakership.
If I operated out of fear over a motion to vacate, I would never be able to do my job. Look, history judges us for what we do. This is a critical time right now, a critical time on the world stage. I think providing lethal aid to Ukraine right now is critically important. I really do. I really do believe the intel and the briefings that we've gotten that I believe Xi and Vladimir Putin and Iran really are an axis of evil. I think they're in coordination on this. I think that Vladimir Putin would continue to march through Europe.
Joining us now, Timothy Snyder, professor of history at Yale University. He is the author of The Road to Unfreedom, Russia, Europe, America. Professor Snyder, thank you very much for being here. What does it say that believing U.S. intelligence about Putin and Russia puts the Republican speaker's job at risk?
Yeah, it says that
an important part of the Republican Party has gotten in the habit of repeating things that are propaganda tropes. Some of them are doing it because they have reasons of their own. Some of them, I think, are a little bit trapped. But I emphasize that it's not really a matter of American intelligence. It's more just a matter of objective reality. What the speaker said is true. The war is at a critical state. The front could break. The Ukrainians are fighting intelligently and courageously, but we have not passed a law to support them for something like 480 days at this point. So it's not even a matter of intelligence, just